All right, welcome to the latest Buff Zone video where I'm joined by Rodrick Ward, one of the newest Buffs from Southern Utah, transfer, one of the many transfers that are coming to Colorado. And Rodrick, you are part of this huge herd of guys that are coming here this summer. And first off, congratulations and thanks for joining me.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. It's been a long recruitment process, and it feels good to finally find my new home and play for Coach Prime, man.
Yeah, well, first off, I imagine, I mean, this has been a long road for you. And I imagine that when you graduated high school in 2018, you probably didn't think you'd still be in college going into 2023, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely not, man. It's been a couple of shaky roads down the lane, but yeah, man. It's a blessing that I'm still in college, man. I finally get to finish my last year right and play for Coach Prime. Wouldn't want to be nobody. Wouldn't want to be nobody else. Like I wouldn't want to play for nobody else or be nowhere else. It's like it's the perfect place. I feel like this is the best way to go out with a bang.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, let's talk about your story a little bit. You grew up in Beaumont, California, correct?
Actually, I grew up in Banning, California. I had just
Okay.
ended up graduating from Beaumont.
Okay. So talk about where you grew up. I mean, little what east of Los Angeles area.
Yep.
So
Yes.
talk about growing up and how you wound up from going from there to Mount San Jacinto Junior College.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Actually, growing up my whole life, I've been in Banning, so I played for the little teams, the little league teams, and stuff like that. And in high school, I actually went to three different high schools. At first, I had went to West Valley due to my sister wanted to join the Navy, and the schools we had out here in Banning, we didn't have no ROTC program, so we let her go to West Valley and do the program and stuff like that. So I did my freshman year at West Valley, and then once she graduated, I came back to Banning, and I was able to replay with my cousins and my friends from my sophomore and my junior year, and then my last year I had transferred to Beaumont with the new coaching regime, and it was crazy because I had did everything right in the transfer rules and everything like that. And I want to say 1 week before the first game, they had told me I had to sit out 5 games for the transfer rule. So I had to sit out 5 games my senior year of high school, and that was kind of the intro of why I went to JUCO. Because coming out of high school, I mean, I had a couple of little offers, but I knew that I wanted to be on a bigger platform and the bigger stage. So I took my chances and went to JUCO and went to the JUCO route and ended up winding at Mount San Jacinto and played there for 1 year and
Mhm.
finally was able to get an offer from Southern Utah, and then from there I've been at Southern Utah till today.
Yeah, and in that 1 year at JUCO, I was just looking up the stats. I mean, 9 breakups, an interception, bunch of tackles, and so a pretty good junior college year. Was that kind of a breakout year for you because you didn't get much of a senior year of high school?
Yeah, it was. It kind of felt. I kind of treated it like my final year of high school because I did have to sit out 5 games. So it was kind of the my senior year of high school really. But it was crazy because just playing against dudes. I'm only 18. It's like dudes I'm playing is 23, 24, 22. So it was kind of like a big maturity change for me in that process. But I was able to go through all that and have no problems with it, and winded up being able to get out of JUCO real quick.
Yeah, and so a lot of school changes, obviously. Then you get to Southern Utah, and you've been there the last 4 years. But I was looking at your bio, and I had to ask you, I'm like, what happened to 2020 and 2021? And
Yeah, yeah,
obviously 2020. I wasn't thinking when I asked you this. There was no season, because of,
right.
and then 2021, you told me you redshirted. You played a lot in 2019. What was the process like going from playing so much in 2019 to you didn't really get to play any football for 2 years?
It was different because in 2019 I was able to come in and produce. I want to say towards the end of the season, so I was like getting into that groove. And then once COVID had broke out, and we were trying to make the decision if we wanted to play in the spring or in the fall, and we winded up playing in both. And I chose to just play in the spring and give my body a break from for the fall. And I was like, you know what? I'll just redshirt this fall year and let my body develop more. And I came back the year after that and had a breakout season, had my best season yet of college football, and it helped me get to where I am today.
Yeah, big numbers last year. I think 4 interceptions, 11 pass breakups, something like that, a bunch of tackles. How much did you enjoy playing at Southern Utah? Obviously, not a high profile school, but did you
Right.
enjoy that experience playing there?
Oh yeah, it definitely gave me more of a hunger playing for Southern Utah, and especially playing with kids that I played with growing up in high school and playing against them in high school. So it was kind of just like we played for each other. So it humbled me a little bit, but it also made me real hungry to keep fighting and keep trying to fight just to get to that next level because I knew I had the top tier skills to play on a bigger stage, and it just made me more hungry just to play with them and play for them. So it was good at Southern Utah.
Yeah, and you're not a complete stranger to Pac-12 because you guys did play against Utah last year. In fact, I actually found a photo of you recovering a fumble against Utah. What was that experience like playing against the Utes? And in playing that game, did you kind of feel like, man, I could play with these guys?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was my first Pac-12 game, so it was great. I love the atmosphere, and it was crazy because I felt like just playing in the stadium and just being able to hear all those fans and just the energy. It automatically just elevates your game out the roof. But yeah, when I was on the field playing with those guys, it wasn't like no strain for me. So it was just like I think that's when it clicked and like made me realize like, man, I can play with these dudes. Like it wasn't no stress to me or nothing like that. And I actually had a good game. I had just got ejected uh straight at halftime because I had a big hit, and it was crazy. I
The
don't think
tar
it was that bad. Yeah, it was a targeting call. I didn't
Yeah.
think it was that bad, but they had to kick me out the game. But it was a fun game to play in with the atmosphere.
Yeah. So real quick, going off of that, does that mean that you're a big hitter? Like, do you have a lot of hits like that?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. I got too much aggression. I'm super aggressive. So if I get a chance to put somebody down, I'm gonna take that chance every chance I get.
Well, I know you don't want targeting calls, but people like to hear that about a safety, so that's a good thing.
Right. Oh yeah, we know we love all the contact over here. What they say, we want all the smoke.
That's
I'm with
right.
all the smoke.
So obviously you're coming here to Colorado. When did that become a reality for you that you were going to get this opportunity to play at Colorado?
Actually, when I had hit the portal, I want to say it was a day or two after when Colorado had inboxed me and was we were chatting it up for a while, and they was talking about trying to get me up there and stuff like that. So once I seen that notification, it kind of like I don't know, kind of just gave me this energy. I can remember like it was yesterday. I remember getting the message, and I had seen it. And I called my dad immediately, like, Dad, Colorado's Coach Prime, and all these guys. So it felt good, man. But nah, yeah, they had hit me. I want to say the second day of my being in the portal, they had hit me up.
Yeah. And so which coaches, you mentioned Coach Prime, which coaches have been kind of your main recruiters that you've gotten to know at CU?
Coach Vancy was the main one talking to me, and he was the one that was able to get me up there with the recruiting visit and get up there to meet up with all the coaches, the D coordinator, and stuff like that. So it's been Coach Vancy the whole way.
Yeah. So did you get to meet Coach Prime?
Oh yeah, I was able to meet Coach Prime. Coach Prime
Yeah.
is cool, man. He's cool, man.
So you keep mentioning that, and I think a lot of recruits want to come play or at least meet Coach Prime, right? So I
Right.
mean that's the gold standard for DBs. Talk about why that's a big deal for you coming here and playing for Coach Prime.
Coach Prime. It's the thing. Like even when he was at Jackson State, like I always rooted for Coach Prime. Just even though I wasn't on the team, like I always rooted for Coach Prime. Just being able to help us and treating us like we're his own kids. Like I understand Coach Prime has his kids and stuff like that, but he treats all of us like his kids. So just being around that father figure type and someone that actually cares about you, not just as a player but as a man, it makes you want to play for Coach Prime 10 times harder.
Yeah, and you come in here. I mean, they're still building this roster, but they've kind of loaded up on safeties. You're one of
Yeah.
them, but Cameron Silman Craig from Jackson was here this spring and did a great job. Trevor Woods is a returning guy that had a great season last year. Did you look at that room and say, "Man, how am I going to get on that field?" Or do you look at it and say, "Let's go, let's compete"?
Oh no, most definitely. I look at the room. I say we're all good, so it's gonna be some competition. But at the end of the day, it's gonna make all of us better. And if we have more competition and everybody's elite, then I feel like there won't be no drop off in any type of situation. If someone gets hurt, the next man's up, and there will be no missteps. So I feel like
Mhm.
just having all that eliteness in the room is gonna elevate the competitiveness for sure.
Yeah, and I know you're excited to play for Coach Prime, and a lot of guys are. But what excites you about just the opportunity at Colorado when you look at I mean, it's a brand new team. It's something that really we've never seen before with this kind of roster overhaul. Does that excite you?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I remember we were talking about it at the up there in Boulder this weekend. We're just talking about how we're just gonna make history. Like we're not just saying like, oh, we're coming. Like, no, we're coming. We're gonna stamp that and go in there and make history. So just being around that energy and everybody believing, how Coach Prime says, I believe, well, we all believe. So just having that belief system and knowing that we're gonna make like everything just I want to say like everything just go to plan. Like it's just like we're just putting a stamp on it.
Yeah.
So it's a good system, man.
So are you pure safety, or where do they see you playing?
Basically, playing anywhere. So I can play safety. If they need me to go down and play nickel, I can go play nickel. Um, I don't know about corner because we got Big Travis and uh, Hermione coming in. So, but yeah, mainly safety in the nickel position.
Okay. Now you mentioned you're a hard hitter, but describe your game for Buff fans that maybe haven't seen you play a little bit. Kind of what do you feel like your strengths are, and maybe what are some of your weaknesses that you want to work on?
Most definitely. Well, as we stated, my aggression is one of my pros. I want to say man coverage is one of my biggest pros. I had actually worked on my man coverage skills a lot in the off season before last season and stuff like that. But one part of my game that I do want to work on is just being able to have my hips more fluid. Like I know sometimes I could get a little bit like not stuck, but just like I may be like a point second off of just getting out of my break. So just that little having that fast twitch a little bit more is something I really want to improve with my game this year.
Yeah, and this next question, I don't ask to for you to knock on any other coaches you've had, but you now have a chance to learn from Coach Kelly, that's been a longtime safeties coach from Alabama, Florida State, all over the place. Coach Prime, obviously, Hall of Fame DB. These are some big time coaches. Are you excited about learning from some of these guys that have got so much experience at the highest levels?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I was actually talking to Coach Kelly this weekend, and we are talking about the dudes he has coached. Just like straight coming out. Just this last drive was Brian Branch, and he coached up Brian Branch, uh, Jalen Ramsey, Derwin James. So he's been around all them dudes. Patrick Surtain. So he's been around all them dudes, and just having him telling me and just sitting down with me and telling me like I see some of that in you. Like you have that skill type. Just hearing that, it did nothing but just raise my confidence and raise my energy even more. And Coach Prime is the best DB to ever play the game of football. So just that alone, just being around that alone will definitely elevate my energy and just make me want to learn as much as I can and soak all the energy I can from it.
Yeah. So obviously we know he is a football player. We're talking about football, but how about Roderick Ward off the field? I mean, what are some things you like to do?
Oh yeah, man. That's crazy. Actually, I do barbering, so I cut hair off the field. I'll play the game a little bit. If you want to ask me, I'm probably gonna be one of the top bowlers on the team.
Bowlers. Okay.
We had actually went bowling this weekend, and I was able to show a little bit. But yeah, I like to do a little bowling, but I kind of want to step out my comfort zone because I know they have the little snow in the mountains in Colorado, so I might want to do some snowboarding and stuff like that. But I don't know yet. I don't know if I'm ready for the snowboarding yet.
You might want to get through the season first, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
most
so,
definitely.
so you've probably seen the barber chairs that are
Oh
there.
yeah.
So, are you looking forward to cutting guys' hair there, or is that kind of something you'll leave to other people?
Nah, I'm a definitely look forward to trying to cut some hair, man. Try to get him in the barber chair and the gold barber chair. Have the team looking good, man. Everybody got a fresh cut for game days and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
I was looking forward to that. Yep.
and Prime's kind of up the game as far as the toys that are in there, in the team room, right? All the different competitive things he's got putting in the room. Are you excited for all that and to compete with some of those guys as far as like ping pong and things like that?
Oh yeah, I'm real competitive, man. If we got some competition going on, I'm gonna sit there until I beat you. If you keep beating me, we gonna sit there all night until I win, type of deal. So I'm ready for the competitiveness, and even in the little games and the little toys in the locker rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Guys have to earn their number here. Was there any discussion about that as far as like what number you want or how you're going to earn that number?
Oh yeah, I mean, In my opinion, I don't care what number I have. Just as long as I'm on that gridiron and fight with my brothers, that's all that matters. You can give me number 88, 00, whatever you want to give me. I'm gonna make that number be the number and make that number have a name for itself.
Awesome. So when do you get to Boulder?
I think I have to report the 29th, so I'll be there after Memorial Weekend.
Okay. So it's coming up. Are you ready for a big
Oh
move?
yeah. Oh yeah, I'm ready. I got my stuff packed already, man.
Awesome. We'll look forward to meeting you in Boulder. And Roderick, thank you very much for joining me, and look forward to seeing you playing this year.
Yes, sir. Appreciate for having me, man. Let's go. Buffs.